Good afternoon. I'm Paul McGowan, and thanks for joining. Let's see what we have for a question today. I'm almost getting good at opening these envelopes without destroying the message inside. Knock on wood. Shah Buj Pagla from Bangladesh, wow, that's a long way away. He writes, "Once you were so vocal about so many things, but now you're so polite. Why?" Thanks, guys. Well, I'm not quite sure how to even answer that. I appreciate the fact you think I'm polite, and I certainly do my best to be as generous and polite as I can. I certainly was more vocal in my younger days, ranting and raving about the things that I was ultra passionate about, and I admit to not giving space to other people's opinions. And I'm not sure that's, well, I can let me just say I was young, and it was just like me to have very strong opinions, and I shared them with people. So call it age. Over time, I've really tried to learn to listen and to understand what the other person's viewpoint is and to respond to that, because we all have valid viewpoints without question. So I don't know if that answers your question. I hope it does. So let me see what this next one has. Renee from Salt Lake City writes, "I have $1,200 to upgrade my system. Should I purchase a Macintosh preamp and integrated, both circa 1972 on the used market, or should I try to navigate the confusing world of current system components and spend my money there? Will I get the best sound and bang for my buck? Where will I get the best sound and bang for my buck?" Wow. That's a really good question, Renee. And I tell you why that's a good question. I get asked it all the time. I have this much money, and all of us are looking for the biggest bang for the buck, right? We want to put our money where it matters most. And my advice might not be something that a lot of people take, and I'll tell you why. It isn't the most exciting advice. And look, I make high-end audio equipment and sell it. I mean, it's what we do. But I also want to make sure that you, our customers, or our potential customers, get the most out of your systems. That really is important to me, because over time, the more enjoyment that we can pull out of our systems, the better it is for the industry, for all of us. Okay? And my advice is a little boring. Get the fundamentals right. Look at your system. You have speakers, you have a receiver, an amplifier, electronics, and you have a source, right? So you've got source, electronics, and speakers. Of those three systems, where's the weakest? What of all of that stuff, what's really the mediocre, the weakest part? Is it your speakers? Replace those then, because they are critical. If you, I know, Ivor Tiefenbroom from Lynn has had a philosophy that if you get the source right, then everything else falls into place. And then the complete opposite is true. Even if you can't get it off the record or the CD properly, if you can't reproduce it, then you haven't accomplished much either. And we can go on an endless debate whether the source is more important than the loudspeakers or the midsection. And the truth is, of course, it all matters. But I go for the weakest link in a system philosophy. Find which part is really the Achilles heel that you have. And in many cases, it's the loudspeaker. And the second most thing, this might be surprising to you, is the power amp. Power amplifiers, I feel sorry for them. Power amplifiers sit there like lumps that we never communicate with. They just produce the power and they do their thing and we never think about them. Yet everything funnels through that power amplifier, and its ability to drive speakers to take what information is put into it and reproduce it and change it from a voltage to a current and put wattage out is a monumental Herculean task. And most of us don't give any credit to the poor power amplifier, and we don't pay attention to it. It's clearly one of my pet peeves. Decide which is the weakest link in your chain and either save up your money or do what you have to do to get that replaced. And in the end, you'll have a much better system. Great question. Thanks for asking.